Welcome back, YouTube. So we're going to be doing a tier list over all the Titans right now. All of them have been released. I was wanting to do, card reviews over them as they're coming out, but I was working and I was pretty busy, so I never got around to doing that. So we're going to do a tier list. I've already looked at all the cards, and so I have an idea of where I kind of want to place them and kind of my thought process and all of it, but I'll explain all that to you guys here now. Let's get into it right away. First one is our Hunter. Titans, Agrimar, the Avenger, Titan, Battlecry, equip a 3/3 weapon that has, oh, here, I'll click on it real quick. Let's see here. With the maintain order, give your weapon after your hero attacks, draw a card. There's commanding force after attacks, summons up a 3/3 with taunt. Swift strike, or swift slash, gives it +2 attack and immune. That's a pretty cool effect. I think I've already made a video over talking about this because these were like one of the very first few Titans that got announced. So I already kind of talked about that. I could link that video below if you guys want to see that. I've only done like one card review over a couple of the Titans that came out. Maybe I did 4 of them. I don't remember. But Agrimar is okay. I think it doesn't really fit what Hunter wants to do right now, and so I don't think it's going to really see any play. And it's not going to fit into any playstyle of what Hunter has right now, so I think it's C tier. And I'm not going to really talk that much into it. I think everyone kind of already understands my opinions on that because of that video. But it's going to be all right. I think it's going to be a good way for Hound Hunter to have, a little bit more draw because of the draw 3. I think that's what's going to be the first ability that's going to get picked with it, and I think it could fit into a Hound Hunter deck. Like outside of that, I don't think it's too crazy. The next one's a Manthul. That's how you pronounce it. 7 mana, 3/10, Titan. Whenever you use an ability, discover any legendary minion. The first ability is called Shape the Stars. Choose a non-Titan minion, summon a copy of it with +2/+2. That's a lovely effect. Being able to cheat out a potential rush, charge, or even like a really solid death rattle minion, that's gonna be good. The next ability is Strike from History. Choose 2 enemy minions, remove them from game. It's basically a poof effect. It's like Life Sentence from Mage, where you just pick a minion and remove it from game. It's gonna happen to 2, and you get to pick both of them. It's not gonna be random. That's already really impactful for Control Priest, and you also, every time you pick one of these, you're gonna get a legendary minion that's gonna help your longevity in the game. It's lovely. Next one is Vision of Heroes. Summon a random 6-cost minion, give it taunt and lifesteal. This is a really good ability, and I think people were kind of not thinking it through. You look here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6-cost Titans, and it does not state that it cannot be a Titan. So you could potentially get other Titan abilities with this card, which is going to make Control Priest even more nutty. And just because you're going to be discovering 3 legendaries. Now, if you think about it, like after picking each ability, the likelihood of Priest keeping this on the board is pretty high. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about you're probably going to be getting off at least 2 abilities with this guy compared to other Titans, right? But if you think about it, you might whiff on like the first 2 legendaries, but if you get that one legendary, that's going to be insane. It's going to, really change the game state of what Priest can do in a control matchup. The next one is Paladin, which I really, really like this one. Let me scroll through it real quick. Midas, the Peacekeeper, 7 mana, 1/8 with taunt. Titan, your minions can't take more than 2 damage at a time, which is already insane effect. Now I've already thought about this, but Pure Paladin is already a really good aggro list. It builds up a board really fast, and the only way it really loses if it gets removed consistently. Like it could build up multiple boards across 2 or 3 turns, and if they're able to remove all 3, that's when you kind of lose. But this card solves that problem. You play it on a board that's already developed, they're not going to be able to take more than 2 damage at a time, and with their first ability empowered, it gives your other minions +2/+2. Sadly, not the same, not Amidus, but all your other really, like, your buffed up minions, potentially any of your other stuff. This is going to be good in Mech Paladin too. Like, it's going to be good across the board of what Paladin already does, and it's going to really advance the longevity of the game state your board state too. And so those removal spells aren't going to do it unless it hits the board, like a Twisting Nether. There's like some removal spells you can't deal with, but the ones that deal damage to the board, this is going to really help that deck. Not, Pure Paladin, Mech Paladin, it's really going to help them not deal with getting their stuff removed right away. And you're going to be able to generate more, big minions. It's going to be a lovely card for Paladin. The next one, which I really love this card, Demon Hunter. Argus, the Emerald Star, 7 mana, 5/9, which is an amazing stat line. With the Titan, minions to the left of this have Rush, and ones to the right have Lifesteal. Really, really cool, because you can position this if you already have a board set up to have Lifesteal. You're going to be able to restore stuff to your HP. The other side's going to have Rush. It's really, really good. I'll talk about the first ability, Crystal Carving. Discover a Death Rattle minion with that costs 3 less. Now, there's not too many like interesting Death Rattle minions that come to mind. The only one I think of is actually Ordering, and you could actually potentially, pull out your Zymox with that if that's the case, um, and then get like crazy big phantasms with Argus. It's gonna be great. Show the Force, reduce cost of all minions in your hand by 2. That can reduce your Zylog, your Zymox, your big demons. This could be played in Big Demon Hunter too. Like that's gonna be a really impactful, reducing the cost of it. And this costs 7, which is gonna be really good. This had a demon tag. This would be insane. But I think this is gonna be one of the best legendaries that Demon Hunter has seen for quite a little bit. Like all the relic stuff is good. Latest Athena got nerfed, so it's kind of mid now. Everything else is just kind of eh. This is gonna be a very impactful Demon Hunter card that's gonna be played in probably every deck, and it could be a top end for an aggro deck. It could also be the the longevity to making that aggro deck live a little bit longer. It's gonna be a solid card. This other ability is called Argunite Army. Sums up 4/2/2 elementals with taunt, and it sums them up on both ends. So you're gonna have 2 on one side and 2 on the other. So 2 will be able to rush right away, and 2 of them will guaranteed to give you lifesteal, unless they remove it. But if they have minions and they have to trade into it, that's restoring HP to you. I think all of its abilities are really, really lovely, and I think Demon Hunter is going to eat this card up, and they're going to enjoy that. The next one is Druid. 10 mana, 5/7. Whenever this uses an ability, jump up 5/5 taunt, which is all right. It's basically so it's spontaneous growth. It draws until you have full your hands full. Bountiful Harvest, restore your HP to full hero, so a Reno effect, and then Flourish, refresh your mana crystals. Now, I think this is really good because it's very flexible in what Druid wants to do. Because if you're kind of low on cards, you're like, what, I'll just draw until my hand's full. Play this, you draw until your hand's full. You might get an Innervate, you could play it, play another card maybe. There is risk of burning a card with that effect, but I don't think Druid will be too upset to do it. The Bountiful Harvest, you're restoring yourself full HP. If you move the board, they're kind of slow, but you're still at a really low HP. You can play this for HP and you get a taunt. And so they're gonna have to deal with that first before they hit your face. Like, it's gonna be a really good card for Druid. I think Flourish, you play this, it's like, say you're behind, you play Enor, refresh your mana crystals, you're gonna get a 5/5 with taunt, and you can play more stuff to potentially help you like survive a game. Like, I think this is a really good flexible card for Druid, and I think a lot of Druid stuff has been nerfed recently, and it's right now the worst class in Standard. I think Druid is gonna really enjoy having this card in their toolkit for what they could do. The next one is Shaman, which I'm very, very excited about. Let's see. Golganeth, the Thunderer. 6 mana, 5/7. Titan, your first spell each turn costs 3 less, which is really, really good. The first ability, Rolling Oceans, which is by far one of the best abilities that for any of the Titans, I think. Deal 3 damage to all enemy minions and restore 6 to all friendly characters. This is the first Titan that can restore HP to itself. So, if they weren't able to completely remove it, but they traded a minion to it, say it was like a 4 minion or 4 attack minion, and so now you're a 6 mana 5/3. You can restore 6 HP back, which brings you up to full HP. Will have survivability for itself. It also removes boards or removes potential minions to on your opponent's side. It also deals 3 damage to them. And also, I mean, if you have other minions that have damage taken to them, it's going to restore HP. It's going to be a lovely effect for them to do. Another one, Lord of the Skies, deal 20 damage to a minion. Just judging by all the stat lines by all the other Titans, like the biggest one is 12 HP. The Primus with its first ability, it might get it's going to add stats to itself. I think the Lord of Skies is kind of checks all the other Titans in a way. I think that's a really impactful just ability right out the gate. The other one, Sharganoth Wrath, draw 3 overload cards. Now with its just its inherent ability where your spells cost 3 less, you could play specific overload cards in your deck. You draw them and you can play them immediately, depending if they cost 3. They're going to cost 0. Well, at least your first one will. But having an overload spell that could have immediate impact on turn 6 is pretty impactful, and I think that's easily an S tier card for Shaman. This is going to be one of the best Shaman's legendaries that they've gotten in a while. They're it's a low tier deck or it's a low tier class right now because of all the different classes that have multiple decks that could play that have consistency. The only good Shaman deck right now is Totem Shaman, and this might evolve a new deck, a new mid range, possibly control Shaman might come to light, and it's gonna I'm there for it. Like, I'm very happy to see a new type of style for Shaman to have, or a new play style to come from it when they they don't really have that right now. So S tier for that. The next one, which is I think the worst one, Kazgoroth, 6 mana 4/4 with whenever you use an ability gain immune this turn and attack a random enemy minion. That's already a really bad ability. This is the worst one by far. I'm already going to put an F tier because I already decided F tier for it, but I'll go over the abilities for it. Titan Forge, give 2/2, draw a weapon, or give +2/+2, or gain, sorry, I keep on mispronouncing. Gain +2/+2, draw a weapon. Gain 5 attack, give your hero 5 attack each turn, or this turn. Gain +5 health, give your hero +5 armor. The problem with it is, like, you could, over cross 3 turns, you could get this up to 11/11, and you're also gaining 5 attack and 5 armor, which is okay, but the problem with it is, it's limited to attacking minions. It doesn't hit face if there's no minions on board. If you're playing against Control Priest, this is like the worst card you could play, because there's not going to be anything to really hit. Now, you know, in scenarios where there are, you know, white board, this might help remove one minion, but it doesn't attack multiple times, it just attacks once. And you can't attack with it until its abilities are used up, so it's kind of just sitting there not doing anything. It's really slow, and Warrior might not play this at all. Mage is the next one, which I think Mage is cool, but I don't know how I really feel about it. Organon, a 6 mana 3/8 Titan. When this uses an ability, double the power of the other abilities, and so on, you know. So the first one, deal 5 damage. The second one, enemy cards cost 1 more next turn. Unlimited potential, cast 1 random secret. The problem with it is picking the order, because you want the, you know, what is it, progenitor's power. You want to deal 20 damage with it, right? And you want that to be hitting face. Potential of that happening might not be as consistent as you'd like. Ancient Knowledge is not bad, because, you know, there's potential to make their stuff cost 4 more next turn, which means that they might only be able to play 1 or 2 cards, which really slows down their game state. Pretty impactful, but the random secrets I don't think is good. Like 4 random secrets, there's a chance that you don't even hit counterspell or what's called objection. So that's just a whip in its own. Not getting either of those secrets, like not having the chance to pick those secrets, is bad. But I still think this is probably our first B tier card. It's good, but it's not as bad as, you know, it's not as good as these here, but it's not as bad as these. I think this is pretty average Titan. And I don't know if this will actually solidify a mage deck. I don't think this is, like, this could probably be put into a mage deck and you might be happy getting 1 or 2 abilities off, but compared to the other ones are way more impactful right away compared to what this can do. The other one, Sargoth, the Warlock one, which is a really cool one. It's a 9 mana, or Sargorath, the Destroyer. 9 mana, 6/12, which is really good stat line by itself already. Battle Cry, open up a portal that summons up 2 3/2 imps each turn, and that stays on your board indefinitely. It cannot be removed, it can't be destroyed, it can't be anything, so you're guaranteed to get 3/2 imps every single turn. This might be just the top end for an imp deck too. This could be played with imps, and you're still getting those 3/2 imps. It's gonna, you know, could be, you know, used in conjunction with Rafam, Imp King Rafam. It could be used with any of the buffing stuff, the buffing mechanics for imps, drawing you more cards with Impending Doom, or whatever that spell is called. It's solid, and the other ability it has is To the Void, to send all other minions to the Twisting Nether. Inferno, summon up 2/6/6 Infernos from the Twisting Nether, and then Legion Invasion. It gives everything summoned from the Twisting Nether plus 2 HP and taunt. I think, like, and this is called the Twisting Nether, so I'm not sure if this summons up the imps with 3/4 and taunt, but I'm pretty sure unless the imps have the demon tag, that would be a really impactful ability to get right away. Having 3/4 imps with taunt, I don't think that's going to be the case, but I think this is going to be a really good card. Now, I kind of decided to put it down in B tier because the fact to it is it's a battle cry effect. It costs 9 mana. This is the most expensive one that we have, and also, like, it's going to be very slow to play it. So my reasoning for this, it going down to B tier, is because it can be pulled by Dirty Rat. The priest, you know, in the priest match, they're going to be able to discover this before you, and there might be a chance where they, you know, play it before you too, and then they're going to beat you down before you can even get to it. It's just kind of, I feel like it's going to be very, very slow unless there's some other way to cheat this out without having to worry about the battle cry not going off. I don't think this is going to be too crazy of a card. If you get this on turn 9, it's going to be immediate impact, but, like, Warlock already has the problem where, you know, they have a lot of draw, but, like, there's chances of you not drawing it when you want it to. You want to play a Renathal deck, you don't want to play a Renathal deck. There's going to be all the little odds and ends to how this card is going to work, and whether or not you're going to be able to consistently get this off each game. Like, you're not going to be able to build around a deck around this specifically. Like, you probably play this in imp deck, like I said, and this could be like your late game card or whatever you want to call it, but, like, compared to the other ones, like it does have a twisting nether effect, but like this might be a bit better because it costs 7 mana. This costs 9. This is already a better card just from that ability alone. It'll be okay. I think this is definitely an upper B tier, but I don't think it defines what Warlock can do. The next one is Death Knight. The Primus, 8 mana, 7/9. Really good stat lines already. After this uses ability, discover a card with that rune. So Rune of Blood, destroy an enemy minion. This minion and your hero gains its HP. That effect alone already makes it an A tier card by far. And also, I mean, Blood Knight is already able to get up to 55 HP. The potential of them getting up to potentially, 75 HP. Like if you play against Black Rock and Roll Warrior with, Lothmar buff, Black Rock and Roll buff, and you're able to destroy a 20/20 or 25/25 minion, and you're able to give those stats onto your hero, giving it up to, potentially up to 80 HP, that's going to be insane. And this card might break the game for Blood Knight in that case. Now and also like after you pick Blood Rune, you could then pick Patchwork because it discovers a card from that rune, and so you could and Patchwork is a 2 Blood Rune card, so you could discover multiple Patchworks now, which is insane. Rune of the Unholy, summon up 2/3/3 undead with Taunt and Reborn. That's lovely stats already on turn 8. Unholy Death Knight could use this as a second boss monster aside Tomorrowgar. It's gonna be lovely. The other one is Rune of Frost. The next spell you cast costs 3 less and has +3 spell damage. You could discover a board wipe. You could discover Remorseless Winter with this. Draw a card, deal 5 damage to everything. That's gonna be really impactful. I'd say this is probably an S tier card, but I think it's upper A. I don't think it's as impactful as these, but this will definitely, it has one really good effect, but all these right here have really good effects. But we'll leave it at that. I think that probably makes the most sense for it. Rogue, Voltron Prime, 6 mana, 3/5, Titan. This minion's ability repeats on other minions, or on another random friendly minion. First ability is attack the cannons, gains +2/+1, deal 4 damage to random enemy minion. No, it's not an enemy minion. Deal 4 damage to a random enemy. This can hit face. Full power, gain +1/+2, draw a card, and then maximize defense. +3 and can't be targeted by spells or hero power. This is okay. My problem with it is it's a mech, so there might be a new mech rogue coming to light because it has a mech tag on it. This is the only other demon or only other Titan that has a tag on it, which makes it kind of interesting. It has a niche to all the other Titans because it could have stuff magnetized to it now, which already I think just bumps it up to a high B tier or mid B tier because you could attach Ziliax onto this, and that automatically makes it that much more impactful, especially with maximize the defense where it can be targeted by spells or hero power. That's going to be pretty lovely for, Rogue to be able to do. But the problem with it is Rogue has never been a really, aggressive class when it comes to like minions. Like spell-wise, yes, but like I don't see it really having a lot of minions unless they redefine what the Rogue class does in this new expansion. If they show a lot of stuff where there's going to be likelihood of minions surviving as a Rogue, this card will be good. It's also one of the cheapest ones, and it has not a terrible stat line, but it buffs itself up, and it's buffing up another minion, so you're able to generate a board, hopefully progressively over 2 turns. As a Titan, I think it's a lot better than these two down here. Compared to Norgamon, I think this is slightly better because it kind of impacts the board and it helps you develop something, while this one is just kind of sitting there. It might reduce the stuff it might make your stuff in your opponent's hand cost more. You might get a good secret. You might be able to deal 20 damage. Like all the mites for this card is just kind of eh. I think this you're guaranteed, like you're gonna buff another minion if you have another minion on board. It still gets the buff. It doesn't have to hit another minion. And if you think about it, this deals 8 damage twice because it gives itself a buff, it deals 4 damage, it gives another minion a buff, it deals another 4 damage. So if your opponent doesn't have anything and you have another minion on the board that's dealing 8 damage to face, and you're developing 2 minions, I think that's already impactful enough. But here's my tier list guide. I think this is already pretty solidified. I don't think anything needs to change here. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about my tier list and what you guys think is S tier, what's A tier, what's B tier, all that stuff. What you think is going to be, meta, what's not going to be meta, all that stuff. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.